Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about Roboute Guilliman. I know there's a lot of discussion about good old Roboute. A lot of people troll him, a lot of people mean him, a lot of people think he sucks because he's Roboute Guilliman. You know, people want their Primarch back, they want Leman Russ back, I want Roguel Dawn back, people want the Khan back, Vulcan back. They all think their Primarch could do better. But when we come down to it, when we take our logical hat and put it on and we look at Roboute, we look at what he's doing, without Roboute, the Imperium couldn't have kicked off the way it was. Any other Primarch would have been a kind of a disaster. And I mean that lightly. I mean that in a kind of a good way, but also in a bad way. But Roboute was a perfect Primarch to return. He had to return. It had to be Roboute, because without him, then we all would have been doomed. So let's jump in and let's just talk about Roboute, and let's just talk about how awesome of a job he's currently doing. So let's just make this clear, right? When Guilliman was risen or resurrected, let's say, let's call it resurrection, when he was resurrected by his Eldar tech and his Eldar friends, please don't send me the memes of them kissing. I get enough of this on a daily basis. It burns my eyes. It's Xenos Heresy. So when he awoke and he was resurrected on Macragge, he didn't like awake to like a rose bed of celebrations and, like, you know, confetti in the air. He was resurrected into a war. Black Legion were there to basically kill Guilliman, to smash the Ultramarines and destroy all the leadership the Imperium based its survival on. But Guilliman, like a boss, rose up, led the charge, defeated Chaos, and absolutely smashed him. All within like a couple of hours of waking up after 10,000. Imagine waking up after 10,000 years and realizing what the hell is going on. You can't sit down and even think that, because there's a Black Legion force. You're like, who the hell are the Black Legion? What are these guys? Who are they? Who, Abaddon? What, he's still around? Imagine the thought process going through his head. But instead he just jumps up, grabs whatever weapons he can, charges forward, and purges the enemies of mankind. And it doesn't stop there. Once that was done, of course, he headed to Terra. He needed to see what the hell is going on with the Imperium. The Imperium now, where before Guilliman arrived, was in a cesspool of ruin, a complete cesspool of ruin. Of course, it's improved since Guilliman's around, but where it was at, people were just backstabbing each other just to gain power. You know, people's smiles were daggers. It was just an awful, awful place to live. Well, technically, it is still an awful place to live, but you get the gist of it. It was a horrible, horrible place. It was absolutely a miracle that the Imperium survived this long without, like, the leadership of people like Guilliman and all that kind of stuff. So Guilliman made his way to Terra, but when he arrived at Terra, Terra wasn't just Terra. Terra was in the midst of an invasion of Khorne. Khorne had invaded Terra. It was butchering everything. The Custodians have flooded out the Imperial Palace. They were fighting Khorne, but then Guilliman arrived with his reinforcements. He fought off Khorne. He fought off the Great Demons. He smashed them all. He broke the siege. He was absolutely, literally amazing. Of course, then he had an audience with the Emperor. Now, this is the kind of heartbreak which brings a tear to my manly Primaris eye, is that when Guilliman had an audience with the Emperor told him, you know, you guys are not my kids. Don't call me father. You're basically my tools. You're my tools of war. I don't view you as children. And Guilliman had to take all that on the chin, like, okay, this I'm basically a weapon for this guy. I understand my purpose. I have to go out and do it. Of course, Guilliman viewed like his proper father, and Macragge has his proper father, even though, you know, the Emperor was technically his real daddy, let's say. I'm doing air quotes here. But, you know, he had to handle that kind of an emotional situation of, right, okay, the Emperor just laid all this on me now. He's now giving me his sword, the Emperor's sword. He's giving me the sword of office. Let's say I am the de facto Emperor. I am now the leader of the Imperium. Imagine the amount of stress, and imagine the amount of discipline and just strategic brilliance you have to step in and be the leader of the Imperium of Man. To lead men, to lead mankind in a galaxy torn by war. It is an incredible, incredible task. And also, don't forget, one of the biggest enemies of mankind is mankind itself. The infighting, the backstabbing, as we previously just talked about. Guilliman had to come into that. He had to put his authority down and say, hey, I'm the leader now. You guys have to listen to me. Now, there's some organizations that didn't like that. The Inquisition don't like that. They see themselves as, we only take orders for the Emperor. Well, guess what, Guilliman? Well, Guilliman's like, guess what? I'm the de facto emperor now. You have to take orders from me. They hate that. So he's always looking over his shoulder for these like rogue operatives, let's say, or people who want to get rid of him so they can go back to normal, whatever that will bloody mean these days. And of course, you've got the people like the High Lords of Terror. I know he came in and he demolished some of like the ranks and got rid of people and stuff like that, because those people who were abusing their power, all that kind of stuff. Rightly so, because they're nothing just but cesspools, and you know, they're basically a load of pond scum, let's just say. So he came in and he reformed all that kind of stuff, and you know, he set all that up to have the race of mankind, to have the Imperium, let's say, be led in a fresh way, in a good way, and trying to change the outcome of humanity's downfall, because that's where we were going. We were going down the sink. We were going bye-bye. But I think now Guilliman coming in, the way he's been a diplomat, the way he's working with certain organizations. Actually, one organization I didn't mention is the church. Now, this is the most interesting organization. I know we've gone into a few videos about this, but I think the church is the biggest threat to Guilliman, because the church is embedded into the core principles of the Imperium of Man. The Imperium of Man in the 41st millennium is a religious set, you know, a religious what word am I looking for? I won't say cult, but you know. Well, anyway, they're full-on religious. The Emperor is a god to them. Now, with Guilliman coming back, basically that is a son of a god. But the debate is, Guilliman knows that the Emperor is not a god. He knows that he is not a son of a god. He knows the imperial truth, because that's what he was crusading back in the day to bring to humanity, to have humans lead as humans and not be, you know, ruled by faith and, you know, all kind of like witches and story, you know, all that kind of nonsense. They didn't want that. Humanity should be led by themselves rather than be feared, you know, someone's got to come out of the closet because they didn't pray hard enough and stuff like that. So Guilliman knows the situation, but of course the church is there trying to put their statement down, say, no, the Emperor is a god. Look, I can prove it to you. And of course, some of the latest books gets more into that. I won't go into that in this video. I've got previous videos about that and stuff like that. But that organization is a threat that is constantly in a juggle with Guilliman. He's keeping them as friends, but of course he's not keeping them too close, because they can cause problems, but he knows how effective they can be. And again, that shows how much of a great diplomat he is in going into these organizations and getting them to work for the Imperium, and using his tactical and, you know, he's basically Primarch genius, his organization skills, because Guilliman is the great administrator. That's what he was basically made for, in my opinion. He is great at doing this kind of stuff, and this is what the Imperium needs. At this moment in time, this is what the Imperium needs. It needs someone to come in and just go through all the files and just get everything in order, because everything at the moment is a complete mess. And it's also not just humans, it's the Astartes themselves. Of course, we all know that the Ultramarines were all going to bow down to Guilliman, but there's some chapters out there that don't agree with Guilliman. They hate the Codex Astartes, let's say. Of course, with the Primaris coming in, he had to be a diplomat there, saying to certain chapters, hey, basically, these are the new guys. Of course, there's a lot of chapters, aka the Dark Angels, who have their secrets. I wonder what secrets they could be, eh? And they were very suspicious, so it's again, the negotiations come into that. There's chapters like the Flesh Tearers who basically hate Guilliman, because they see Guilliman and the Codex Astartes as breaking up the Blood Angels and all that kind of stuff, and we all know what Seth is like. He's probably not the best person to go in and have a nice conversation with, which, you know, they view the Primaris as replacements, so it's getting into the mindset of saying, hey guys, no, they're not replacements, they're here to reinforce you. You guys have, you know, you're on the brink of death. Let these guys come in and assist. They help you. They share your same gene line. They are you. They're just different. They're more evolved than you. That's all it is. So there's a lot of diplomacy going into there and getting in and handling with the Astartes and making sure that, you know, we're all united under one banner, because the last thing Guilliman wants is Astartes chapters to start going renegade or rogue and stuff like that, because that just leads to heresy. That proves it all along, with the Horus heresy and stuff like that. He doesn't want one of those situations on his hand. Now, the biggest thing I personally think to Guilliman, and the way he's handled and just been an absolute boss, is, don't forget, the north part of the Imperium, or the north part of the galaxy, is in a very, very bad way. It is cut off. It is basically just no man's land out there. So Guilliman's come in. He's basically gone over to Dante, again, who he knows. He's read about him, his leadership skills. Dante's like a beacon of humanity. There's a certain scene where Dante, when he meets Guilliman at the end of the devastation of Baal, and Dante goes to kneel, and Guilliman's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You do not kneel, mate. You do not kneel. You stand in my presence. You do not have to kneel. So Guilliman respects these kind of, big tier hero characters. And of course, he made Dante basically Warden of the North, where anything in the northern sector, Dante's in command of, no matter what chapter you are, no matter what gene line you serve. If you don't follow Dante's orders, it's basically going against Guilliman, aka basically going against the Emperor of Mankind himself. And don't forget, the galaxy where we're in at the moment, we are at a state of eternal war. It's not just chaos. You've got the Tau, you've got the Necrons, you've got the Orcs, you've got all the kind of Tyranids. The Tyranids are probably the biggest threat, which, everyone's like, chaos, the Dark Gods and stuff like that. Not for me. I personally think the Tyranids are the biggest threat. They are here to nom, and they won't stop. They don't care about chaos. They don't care about all that kind of stuff. They're here to eat biomass and move along. Now, how Guilliman's going to react to that and handle that and everything, that is probably another subject within itself. All we do know that the battles he's fought, one is probably the biggest contender is against Nurgle. And of course, again, it's another brother he's fought. Guilliman's fought two brothers. He has took on and fought, and I personally think defeated two brothers. You can have a little bit of debate about the Plague War book, but I personally think Guilliman had it under control and he was going to win and stuff like that. So he's gone against two brothers, one being a massive psycho, which is probably the most devastating psycho in the galaxy, bar the Emperor, but the Emperor's really out the game at the moment, so you can say he's probably the most powerful psycho in the galaxy. He took him on, and of course he had help with the Sisters of Silence and stuff like that, but he still took Magnus on, and of course Mortarion, who is with Nurgle, with all his plagues and stuff. Nurgle has been going around and devastating the boundaries of the 500 worlds and the ultramarine space, let's say. And Guilliman's handled it like a boss. He hasn't let his emotions get in place. He's handled it properly. He's gone in. He's bombarded the worlds, which are just been overtaken by Nurgle's rot and stuff like that. Of course, it's a sad thing but Guilliman, he's not going to let his emotions get in the way, because that's when mistakes happen. That's when you start to lose, when you let these emotions take over and you start to make stupid decisions. So Guilliman confronting and fighting his brothers, again, he's done an amazing job. I don't think there's that many Primarchs that could have took on Mortarion and Magnus and come out to live to tell the tale. Again, you can say, it's down to the plot writing and stuff like that, but still, it's amazing what he's done and what he's achieved. I think Guilliman has done an amazing job. I think he is the right Primarch. He should have been the Primarch to return first, of course. I love my Rogue Dawn, but Dawn, I think, would have had a complete different reaction. You needed Guilliman to come in, to organise, to be the diplomat, to lead the Imperium, to lead the Crusades the way he has done, and he's done an absolute fantastic job. Of course, I will meme about him. Of course, I will meme about the Ultramarines and everything like that, because at the end of the day, you have to laugh at this kind of stuff. But I don't think Guilliman gets the respect he deserves, and I think we should give him a little bit more respect. Of course, there's going to be people who disagree with this statement. 100% completely probably are word bearers. If you had a word bearer, then you shouldn't even be watching this video, because there's something mentally wrong with you. Anyway, right, let me finish the video right there. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about Guilliman. Do you think he deserves more praise for being such a awesome, amazing Primarch, or do you think he is just a big turd at the end of the day? Let me know in the comment section down below. We can have a nice little healthy chat about it down there. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you now, and bye-bye.